You're about to discover the motorcycle industry's best-kept secret, a bike that outsells premium brands by the thousands while costing less than their optional extras. The truth will change how you look at motorcycling forever. Subscribe now and hit the notification bell because this information could save you thousands. But before we start, number 1. The Invisible Champion. The motorcycle sitting in plain sight at every dealership that nobody talks about is the Honda Grom. This miniature marvel represents everything the American motorcycle industry has convinced you doesn't matter anymore. Walk into any dealership and you'll find it tucked away in a corner, overshadowed by gleaming $30,000 touring bikes with their excessive chrome and digital dashboards. The salesperson won't guide you toward it. The promotional materials barely acknowledge it. Yet this unassuming little machine consistently outperforms virtually everything else on the showroom floor, where it matters most, in actual sales numbers and practical usability. The Honda Grom weighs just 229 pounds fully fueled, packs a 125 cubic centimeter engine, delivering up to 134 miles per gallon, and costs less than $4,000 brand new. Its maintenance intervals are generous, parts are plentiful and affordable, and its learning curve is gentle enough for absolute beginners, while still providing experienced riders with genuine thrills. What makes this bike revolutionary isn't technological innovation. It's the opposite. It represents a return to motorcycling fundamentals. Lightweight, simple, affordable transportation that happens to be incredibly fun. The Grom embodies everything the motorcycle industry once stood for, before marketing departments convinced us we needed 1,800 cubic centimeters engines, touchscreen displays, and finance packages that rival mortgage payments. Number 2. The numbers don't lie. The sales figures tell a story the industry doesn't want you hearing. Honda has sold over 400,000 Groms worldwide since its introduction. For comparison, Harley-Davidson, America's motorcycle darling, ships fewer than 200,000 units annually across their entire model range. This pattern repeats across premium brands. BMW Motorrad sold approximately 169,000 motorcycles globally last year. KTM moved around 265,000 units. Triumph hovers around 75,000. Meanwhile, small displacement bikes like the Grom, along with its cousins the Kawasaki Z125 Pro, Yamaha MT-03, and various 300 to 400 cubic centimeters models consistently outperform them year after year. Why don't dealerships trumpet these numbers? Because volume doesn't equal profit margin. A salesperson earning 20% commission makes $160 on your $4,000 Grom purchase. That same salesperson pockets $1,600 when they convince you to finance a $30,000 touring bike with accessories. Which sale do you think they're incentivized to pursue? Dealers aren't displaying these entry-level bikes prominently or advertising them aggressively because they've built business models around high-margin, financed purchases. The $4,000 motorcycle represents everything that threatens this profitable system. Affordable transportation that doesn't require lengthy financing terms or expensive service packages. Number 3. The American motorcycle delusion. We've been programmed to equate engine displacement with masculinity, motorcycle weight with quality, and brand prestige with rider capability. This programming didn't happen by accident. Harley-Davidson spends more on marketing per unit sold than almost any other motorcycle manufacturer. Their marketing budget often exceeds their R&D investment. They're selling an image first, transportation second, and they're not alone. Virtually every premium manufacturer follows this playbook. The psychological manipulation runs deep. I've watched countless riders walk into dealerships planning to purchase reasonable machines, only to leave with financed beasts they can barely handle. The psychology is devastatingly effective. Real riders don't buy small bikes. You'll outgrow it in months. What will your friends think? Social media amplifies this delusion. Instagram feeds filled with $25,000 adventure bikes that never see dirt. Facebook groups where posting anything under 1,000 cubic centimeters invites ridicule. YouTube channels featuring endless reviews of motorcycles priced beyond what average Americans can reasonably afford. The weekend warrior phenomenon represents this delusion in its purest form. Financing capability you'll use 5% of the time. Riders purchasing 150 horsepower sport bikes they'll never take to a track. Adventure riders buying 500-pound off-road capable machines they'll never take off pavement. Cruiser enthusiasts financing touring bikes for the one long trip they might take someday. Number 4. Real-world performance reality check. Let's get practical about what actually matters when you're riding, not posing beside your parked motorcycle for Instagram. Maintenance costs over 50,000 miles tell the real story. A Honda Grom's valve adjustment costs approximately $150 at a dealer. The same service on a BMW R1250GS runs about $800. Tires for the Grom cost $80 to $100 per set and last 8,000 to 10,000 miles. Premium motorcycle tires cost $300 to $500 per set and often wear faster due to power and weight. Reliability data speaks volumes. Small displacement Japanese motorcycles consistently require the fewest unscheduled service visits, with many riders reporting 20,000 plus miles with nothing more than oil changes and basic maintenance. Meanwhile, premium European and American brands frequently require electronics troubleshooting, sensor replacements, and complex diagnostic procedures. The fuel economy difference is staggering. Small displacement motorcycles achieve 70 to 130 miles per gallon in real-world conditions. Large cruisers and adventure bikes often return 35 to 45 miles per gallon, hardly better than many modern cars. Insurance costs represent another hidden expense. Annual insurance for a 22-year-old rider on a Honda Grom might run $300 to $400. That same rider insuring a Ducati Panigale or Harley Road Glide could pay $2,000 to $3,000 annually. Perhaps most importantly, these smaller motorcycles are simply more rideable. They're easier to maneuver at low speeds, less intimidating in traffic, and more forgiving of rider errors. Their lightweight makes them easier to handle for riders of all sizes and strength levels. The result? Owners of these bikes often report riding more frequently than owners of larger, more expensive machines. Number 5. The dealership conspiracy. The moment you walk into a motorcycle dealership, you're entering an environment specifically designed to separate you from as much money as possible. Commission structures at most dealerships pay salespeople a percentage of the sale price, creating an immediate incentive to steer you toward expensive models. Many dealerships also offer spiffs, additional bonuses for selling specific high-margin models the dealer needs to move. The financing game represents another layer of profit. Dealerships earn back-end money on financing, often 2 to 3% of the total financed amount. A salesperson guiding you toward in-house financing on a $25,000 motorcycle generates significantly more profit than selling you a $4,000 bike you pay for outright. Sales training at major dealerships explicitly teaches techniques to overcome price objections and redirect budget-conscious buyers toward more expensive options. Common tactics include emphasizing monthly payments rather than total cost, suggesting you'll outgrow smaller bikes quickly, and leveraging peer pressure by mentioning what most riders choose. Service departments prefer complex motorcycles because they generate more revenue. A motorcycle with multiple electronic systems, complex engine management, and specialized components creates a service customer for life. Simple machines with proven technology and easily accessible components generate far less service revenue over their lifespan. Number 6. The smart money move. Here's what's fascinating. The riders with the most experience often gravitate towards simpler, smaller motorcycles as they mature in the sport. Professional motorcycle instructors frequently choose middleweights for their personal rides. After spending all day on motorcycles, they value handling precision and ease of use over raw power and status. Many motorcycle police officers, who ride more miles annually than almost any recreational rider, choose middleweight touring machines over heavyweight options when given the choice. Internationally, the perspective shifts dramatically. In countries where motorcycles serve as primary transportation rather than recreational toys, practicality reigns supreme. In Japan, Honda's home market, motorcycles under 250 cubic centimeters dominate the landscape. Throughout Europe, 300 to 650 cubic centimeter motorcycles represent the sweet spot of performance, economy, and practicality. The used market reveals another truth. Simpler motorcycles often retain value better than complex, expensive machines. Technology-laden flagship models depreciate rapidly as new features emerge, while simple, reliable motorcycles hold steady value due to their ongoing practicality and lower maintenance requirements. Perhaps most telling is what happens at track days. While beginners often show up on powerful sport bikes, experienced track riders frequently choose lightweight, middleweight machines that allow them to focus on technique rather than managing excessive power. The most skilled riders can extract more performance from a Yamaha R3 than novices can from a 200 horsepower superbike. Number 7. Breaking free from the marketing matrix. To make smart decisions in a market designed to exploit your emotions, you need a systematic approach that cuts through the marketing noise. Before visiting a dealership, ask yourself these fundamental questions. How often will I actually ride? What type of riding will I actually do? What's my honest skill level? What can I afford without financing? What are my total costs, including insurance, gear, and maintenance? Calculate total cost of ownership, not just purchase price. A $4,000 motorcycle that costs $300 annually to insure, returns 100 miles per gallon, and requires minimal maintenance represents a dramatically different financial commitment than a $20,000 motorcycle costing $1,500 to insure, returning 40 miles per gallon, and requiring expensive specialized service. Watch for these red flags during the sales process. Dismissal of your interest in smaller bikes, emphasis on status or what most riders choose, focus on monthly payments rather than total cost, pressure to decide immediately, and reluctance to discuss long-term ownership costs. When test riding, evaluate motorcycles based on how they perform in conditions you'll actually encounter. Can you comfortably flat-footed at stops? How does it handle at parking lot speeds? Is the riding position comfortable for your typical ride duration? How intuitive are the controls? These practical considerations matter far more than peak horsepower you'll rarely access. Finally, build the confidence to ignore peer pressure and marketing hype. Remember that motorcycle marketing specifically targets male insecurity. The suggestion that real riders need bigger engines, louder pipes, or premium badges exploits psychology rather than addressing transportation needs. The $4,000 motorcycle continues to outsell flashier options because it delivers what motorcycling has always promised: freedom, fun, and affordable transportation. The industry might not promote this truth, but sales numbers don't lie. Which revelation shocked you most? The sales figures or the dealership tactics? Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me if you agree or disagree about the future of motorcycle affordability. Subscribe now because this is just the beginning of exposing industry secrets they don't want you to know.